This is the last lesson for BM200 midterm coverage. Lesson 2 of Unit 2, all about understanding buying behavior. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to describe the consumer buying process, describe factors affecting consumer buying behavior, and describe the business buying behavior as well as the different factors influencing such behavior. So consumer behavior, this is done by consumers. Who are the consumers? Consumers are the individuals who buy products, so they are our customers. Both products and services na ilang ginabay or gina-avail for consumption, for survival, for use in their households, for fulfilling their needs and different wants. So they are the final users or end users of the different products available in the market. So it could be that they are buying the different products and availing the different services available to them in the market for physical demands, social demands, security demands, and all the other necessary needs nga kinahanglan i-satisfy sa specific or sa individual nga customer or consumer. So there are different buying behaviors observed by consumers na ay lain-lain nga reasons or na ay lain-lain nga factor nga nag-push sa isa ka consumer og unsaon niya or unsay mga decision making nga iyang agian before siya ma-decide sa isa ka product nga paliton na niya. So we are going to study in this lesson the different buying behaviors and consumer buying. Let us first differentiate buying behavior from consumer buying behavior. So, buying behavior alone, this is the decision processes and acts of people involved in buying and using products. So, this is their behavior, their actions towards the act of buying the product. Naiuban magtigom before mopalit og isa ka specific product. Others have the privilege to buy it anytime they want. Others also do not have in their lifetime any privilege nga masipag unsa niya nakawant dili niya mapalit kay wala siya pangpalit. What are the decision processes nga mag-push sa ilaha to decide to buy that product, to risk, or to invest in that specific product? Consumer buying behavior, this is the behavior specific to identified consumers or customers. They buy products for their personal use and not for business purposes. So there are specific level of involvement and consumer solving processes. So naatay i-take into consideration nato ang individual's intensity of interest in the product and the importance of the product for that person. Unsa na ka-importante nga product para sa iyaha? For skincare ba na, for hygiene, for sanitary purposes, for health purposes, unsa kataas ang level of involvement niya nga kinahanglan jud kay na niya paliton nga product. Is it enduring involvement or situational involvement? Then we also have the routinized response behavior, meaning the buyer or the consumer buys frequently the product. So these are low-cost items that require little search and decision effort. For example, we always inigbang grocery atong mga mama or kita sa ato ang para sa ato ang consumption sa ato ang households. We always buy alcohol, toilet paper, detergent, dishwashing liquid, dishwashing soap, mga ingon ana. So these are routinized response behavior. Balik-balik frequent nata nga gina-purchase nato na nga product because of the frequent necessity of those products. Then we also have limited problem solving, the process that buyers use when purchasing products occasionally or when they need information about an unfamiliar brand in a familiar product category. So, when you're planning to buy a car, so you need intense research. There is a new brand available in the market and you're unfamiliar with it. In the same category nga car gihapon siya, pero you need to dig deeper in order for you to decide nga paliton ba to nimo siya nga specific brand of car. Then we also have extended problem solving, the process employed when purchasing unfamiliar, expensive, or infrequently bought products. Like insurance, whether life insurance or health insurance. It could also be products or equipments used in a business operation. So, pwede na siya nga mga products ang kinahanglan nato extended problem solving before we decide on buying those products. Then we also have impulse buying, an unplanned buying behavior resulting from a powerful urge to buy something immediately. If you notice, di ba, nasa groceries or grocery stores or supermarkets, na ay mga stand or kiosk near the counters nga na ay mga candy display, mga shaver, cotton buds, mga ingon ana things nga makaligtaan, and then upon payment or nakalinya na ka sa counter, you remember that you need them, so impulse siya nga mukuha ka diretso bayad, mukuha ka to nga product bayad diretso without any long process of thinking or deliberating kung kinahanglan ba gyud to nimo nga mga products. So mo na siya ang sa impulse buying. So here we have below a table depicting the consumer buying decision process as well as the different influences. So, the consumer buying behavior, buying decision process starts with problem recognition followed by information search, and then evaluation of alternatives, the purchase of the product, and then the post-purchase evaluation of the product. And then the influences that may affect the buying decision process of a consumer could be situational, psychological, or social influences. Each are discussed in detail below. So, sa first step sa decision process, which is problem recognition, this occurs when a buyer becomes aware of a difference between a desired state and an actual condition. This could occur rapidly or slowly. This is the stage wherein you recognize your need. This is the stage where you identify that a specific product, you demand a specific product to answer your specific needs. So you search after identifying your problem or recognizing your need and want. You proceed to the next stage, which is information search. So this is there is internal search and external search. So for internal search, buyers search their memories for information about products that might solve their problem. So you search in your own kanang stored memories of specific products or specific brands on products nga kinahanglan nimo, while external search, buyers seek information from outside sources. Dili lang kay imuhang stored information ang imuhang saligan. Once you've identified or recognized your problem and you've done research on the specific products that you want, that is the time you enter the third stage, which is evaluation of alternatives. So, you start with consideration set. So, a group of brands that buyer views as alternatives for possible purchase. So, for example, you find that you need to buy a laptop for your online class. So, muna siya sa problem recognition. Information search, pwede ka nga, you already have an idea on the different brands of laptops, natay Acer, Lenovo, Dell, Samsung, and others. And then you already have an idea on their different specs, different advantages, disadvantages, prices, sumoto siya sa information search. Sa evaluation of alternatives, you consider the following groups of brands kung ahay possible nga imong i-purchase. You create an evaluative criteria. So, maghimo kag objective and subjective characteristics. Adto ba ka sa pinakabarato, sa pinakamahal, or sa tunga-tunga. Then, you frame your alternatives. Describe the alternatives and their attributes in a certain manner to make a particular characteristic appear more important, especially to the inexperienced buyer. Now, if you're making this presentation to convince a group of people to buy your product using this process, so make And if you want them to choose a specific product nga imuhang gina market, so make it nga kanang beautiful or appealing ang characteristics nga imong gipili for that specific product. But if you're doing this for the purpose of kanang pagpalit lang para sa imong kaugalingon, bali fulfilling self needs, then you frame those characteristics in order to choose the better alternatives. So naka-evaluate na-identify nimo ang problem, naka-research na ka on information about the product nga kinahanglan nimo aron ma-solve imong problem, and then you've evaluated, so nakapili na ka og aha to imong paliton. So ibutantag you've chosen Acer kay long battery life and economical as well as handy ba karon ingon ana imuhang mga reasons or ang na deduct nimo from your evaluation. So you proceed to the purchase process. So choosing the product or brand to be bought based on the outcome of the evaluation stage, and then the choice of the seller may affect the final product selection. So factors such as terms of sale, price, delivery, and warranties may also affect this stage. So napalit na nimo, ning gasto na ka. You already have the product, you've tested it out, so you then proceed to the last stage of the consumer buying decision process, which is the post-purchase evaluation. So in here, it's cognitive dissonance is involved. This is a buyer's doubt shortly after a purchase about whether the decision was the right one. So dili na to na malikayan, especially if mahal-mahal jud ang ato ang nagasto or dako atong nagasto in buying that specific product. Although we've already studied the alternatives, we've evaluated all the advantages and disadvantages, and then we found out that that's the best alternative, naagyo yung mga pagdududa gihapon. So buyers are most likely to seek reassurance after the purchase of an expensive, high-involvement product. Most of us, ning agi ani nga stage we're in, we want reassurance. So, we go to mga post reviews for that specific product, we double check, we test out ato ang atong sulayan og ayo gamit ang product aron ma-prove nato nga we have picked the better choice or the best choice. So, mo na siya ang consumer buying process. What are the influences that may affect the process? So, naatay situational influences, psychological influences, and social influences. So, dito tauna sa situational influences. These are factors that can influence a buyer's purchase decision and may cause the buyer to shorten, lengthen, or terminate the process. Pwede siya nga dali maka-decide si buyer mo palit ato nga product, or dugay siya maka-decide or dili na gyud siya modayon og palit ato nga product. Situational factors include physical surroundings, social surroundings, time perspective, reason for purchase, buyer's momentary mood and condition. So, physical and social surroundings ato ng environment pwedeng naantala niyang pagpalit kay dili siya kabiyahe because of the current pandemic, and then ang palitonon niya nga product is not here in Pagadian City or wherever he or she is residing. Time perspective, the product is only available for a certain period of time, and then wala siya kaapas ba karon. Reason for purchase. It could be nga nag-change ang reason, dili na dahi siya necessary, so dili niya dayonon, so ma-terminate ang process. And then the buyer's momentary mood and condition. It could be nga today, feel niya mo palit og dress, and then tomorrow, dili na dahi siya ganahan mo palit og dress. Mo na siya situational influences. I'm sure you have had those experiences also in buying goods and different products in the market. Then we also have psychological influences. These are factors that in part determine people's general behavior, thus influencing their behavior as consumers. So, pwede siya nga perception, the process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting information inputs to produce meaning. So, i-perceive mo daan ang gamit sa product. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So you interpret based on the given information or the information nga nakuha nimo during the second stage of the consumer buying process. Then we also have selective exposure, the process of selecting inputs to be exposed to our awareness while ignoring others. So, our brain tells us all of the good things about that product, disregarding the disadvantages kay gusto jud ta mo palit ana nga product. Then, selective distortion, an individual's changing or twisting of information when it is inconsistent with personal feelings or beliefs. Sometimes, when choosing or deciding to buy a product, we are affected by our personal feelings or beliefs. Usahay gusto lang kita mo sabay sa uso, that's why we want to buy. We want to get that product. So that could often lead to selective distortion wherein as an individual or as a consumer, we twist the given information when we know already nga dili siya advantages para sa atwa or magkalas-kalas sa tagkwarta mo palit ana nga product, but we still, because of the personal feelings that we have nga gusto ka mo sabay sa uso, so mupalit gyapon ka adto nga product. We also have selective retention, remembering information inputs that support personal feelings and beliefs and forgetting inputs that do not. So, in selective retention, if you are repeatedly or frequently buying that product, all that you remember about, all your brain remembers about the product are the good things, the inputs that support your personal feelings, and you forget about its disadvantages. Then we also have perceptual organization, organizing and integrating new information with what is already stored in memory. So, closure occurs when a person mentally fills in missing elements in a pattern or statement. So, sa perceptual organization, we organize and integrate new information. Nanatay mga stored nga memory daan sa ato ang brain about the specific product. And then we learn of new things, so i-organize and integrate na to sila. So, ma-fill in tong mga missing elements about that specific product in our brain. Then, interpretation, the assignment of meaning to what has been organized based on what is expected or what is familiar. So, attempts by marketers to influence interpretation can fail because consumer blackout sellers information. It could be nga ma-fail nila ni nga marketers will not be able to influence the buyers because buyers mismo mo block out sa new information nga i-made available ni seller. Consumers may also interpret seller's information differently than intended. Ma-misinterpret nila ang imuhang advertisement, imong promotion. So, imbis nga ma-influence nimo sila to buy ato nga product, dili na noon. And then, it could also be that consumers discard information that is inconsistent with prior beliefs. It could be nga you've delivered a new information about a new product innovation, and then taliwas siya sa ilahang mga beliefs and personal feelings, so they do not agree with it, they would be discouraged to buy the product. It could be nga ingon ana siya sa interpretation. Ang pagsabot ni consumer sa paraasa ang product, unsay gamit ni product, para ahang improvement nga gihimo sa product. Then we also have motive. So this is an internal energizing force that directs a person's behavior towards satisfying needs or achieving goals. So, diri mo sulod si Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The 5 levels of needs that humans are motivated to seek and satisfy from least to most important. So, mag-start ta sa physiological needs. So, it could be that we are offering products that answers to the most basic needs, so ma-influence nato sila nga mopalit yun adto nga product, fulfilling their physiological needs like food, water, sex, clothing, and shelter. Then we also have safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and then changes in an individual's thought processes and behavior caused by different information and experience, as well as nasatisfy ba sila ana nga pagpalit nga product, matagam sila, di na sila mo balik og palit. And then Basically, consumers learn about the product more once they've tried it. Mo na siyang na ay mga pakulo or promotional ideas wherein if you're selling food, you allow 1 week before your opening magpa-free taste ka, magpa-free sampling ka sa mga people around your location so that they already have an idea on what the product is all about, and it would further convince them or influence their buying decision excuse me, to buy your product. Then attitudes also affect consumer buying behavior. An individual's enduring evaluation of feelings about and behavioral tendencies toward an object or idea. So, pwede siya cognitive, affective, or behavioral. So, cognitive attitudinal components are knowledge and information about the object or idea. Sa affective pod, cognitive is all about knowledge and information. So, katong mga information nga naadaan sa ato ang brain. Affective, this involves our feelings and emotions towards that object or idea. And then behavioral, the action nga atong ginahimo or gihimo regarding that object or idea. We know that that product exists, cognitive. We have an idea nga lami ang product sa Jollibee, or butang talami ang Chicken Joy sa Jollibee. So our feelings and emotions towards that product is that we like it. So we have that feeling. Behavioral is the action nga ning palit ta kay ganahan ta adto, and we have that the idea from our cognitive perspective nga lami gyud siya, proven and tested. So mo na siya sa attitudinal components. Attitude scale. This is a means of measuring consumer attitudes by gauging the intensity of individuals' reactions to adjectives, phrases, or sentences about an object. So this is where when advertising for a certain product, we use adjectives, convincing phrases, sentences that would give enough information to our consumers about or give them the enough idea on what our product is all about, what we are selling. So we need to formulate or use such adjectives that would gain a positive individual reactions from our customers. Bali, we need to look into their attitudes towards the specific words that we are going to use. Basin og sobraan ra ka feminist or sexist ba karon, or racist na ba ang ato ang ginagamit ng mga words in terms of selling our product, and there are consumers that are sensitive to those issues. So mana siya. Then we also have personality and self-concept. So personality, this is a set of internal traits and distinct behavioral tendencies that result in consistent patterns of behavior in certain situations. So for example, wala sa iyang personality mo palit og makeup, ayaw siya baligya og makeup. Or you find a specific factor that would convince him or her to buy that unusual product nga wala sa iyang personality, so that you would influence his or her buying behavior. Self-concept or self-image, this is the perception or the view of oneself. If you view yourself as a simple consumer, then you would tend to be attracted to simple products. If you view yourself as an extravagant or gastador ka or sosyalon ka nga pagka-consumer, then you would tend to be convinced or influenced to buy products that would fit your self-image or pagtanaw nimo sa imong kaugalingon. Then lifestyle. So these are individuals' pattern of living expressed through activities, interests, and opinions. So if you're practicing a healthy lifestyle, then the products that you're often buying or you're often inclined to buy are healthy products. So as a marketer, you're going to influence those with a healthy lifestyle to buy your healthy products. Mangita ka og way nga they would find more information about your product, know about the advantages of your product, so that they could be influenced to buy those. Then we also have the social influences on the buying decision process. So natay situational, depende sa situation ang decision ni consumer nga mopalit ba siya tong product. Psychological, depende sa gidikta sa iyang brain. And then we also have social, wherein society, where he or she lives and interacts with other people. So social influences the forces other people exert on one's buying behavior. Dirito mosulod tong mga uso-uso. So we have our specific roles in society, social role or role, actions and activities that a person in a particular position is supposed to perform based on expectations of the individual and surrounding person. So, roles influence both general and buying behavior. Where do we belong in the society? What is our role? Another social influence is family influences. So, the process through which a person acquires the knowledge and skills to function as a consumer is referred to as consumer socialization. So, sa family decision-making process na atay autonomic, husband-dominant, wife-dominant, and syncretic. So, in family influences, we cannot deny if there are certain practices or certain kanang mga patterns of behavior observed in the family, those would also greatly affect our consumer buying behavior. So if the family decision-making process relies on autonomic or equally shared decision-making, meaning anyone can decide, like when you go to the grocery with your mama and papa, and then maingon kag ma kani nga corn beef atong paliton, then okay ra nila, so that's autonomic. Or maingon ka nga gusto ko mag-switch tawag brand sa sabon kanina pod, so that's autonomic also, meaning you have equal say on the decision process inside the family. Husband dominant, this is where the husband makes decisions, si papa ra ang masunod, in opposed to wife dominant, wherein si mama ra pod ang masunod. Syncretic is decisions made jointly. So, kasagara sa when you want to buy expensive things or like home appliances, so mag-meeting mo, the decisions are made jointly on what brand, what specific size of TV, what specific type of refrigerator. So, man na siya sa syncretic. So, synchronous siya. You work as one unit. Then we also have reference groups. These are any group that positively or negatively affects a person's values, attitudes, or behavior. It could be membership, aspirational, or disassociative. So reference groups, these are, it could be your friends, your classmates, your workmates, any group you belong in the society due to your membership in a certain organization, your religion, or your disassociativeness nga kanang dili ka ganahan makigminggol og tawo, so you do not have your own group. Opinion leader, these are a knowledgeable, accessible individual who provides information about a specific sphere of interest to followers. Opinion leaders could either be your boss in your work, pwede pod siya inyong pastor or inyong priest in your religious group or sa church ninyo. It could also be kanang leader-leadero ninyo nga friend nga daghag na ibaw-an that would influence you on what to buy, what products to use, what certain brands are amendable, mga ingon ana. Mo na sila mga opinion leader. They have a wide range of knowledge about certain products, and then they like sharing it to other people, thus influencing their buying decisions. Then, social class. So, this is an open group of individuals with similar social rank. So, individuals in the same social class develop and assume common behavioral patterns. So, natay mga social class, natay working, middle, low, and then the katong sa high class ng mga people. So, because of the social class influences, they could influence many major life decisions as well as shopping patterns and spending habits. So, natay table diri sa social class behavioral traits. Sa upper class, so ang included sa upper class in this table are the upper katong mga dato jud kaayo, lower upper dili kay dato, and then upper middle nga kanang labaw gamay sa middle class. So, Income varies among the groups, but goals are the same. So, naatay various lifestyles like preppy, conventional, intellectual, and then they belong in a neighborhood with and in prestigious schools. So, ilang buying characteristics, price quality merchandise, favor prestigious brands, katulad yung mga branded. Products purchased must reflect good taste. They also like to invest in arts, and they like to spend money on travel, theater, books, tennis, golf, and swimming clubs because they have the buying capacity. So, mo na lang buying characteristics. Those that belong in the middle class, so they often work in management, considered as white collar because they work in white collar jobs. They have good schools but not too expensive schools, and they live in well-maintained neighborhoods, and then they often emulate the upper class or they look up to the upper class. They also enjoy travel and physical activity, as well as they are involved in their children's school and sports activities. So the middle class consumer buying behavior is that they like fashionable items since they like to emulate the upper class. Consults experts via books, articles before purchasing. Spend for experiences they consider worthwhile for their children, like ski trips, college education, educational tours. And then they also like to avail tour packages and weekend trips and buy attractive home furnishings, mga nindot nga appliances. For the working class, their behavior traits is that they emphasize on the value of family, and especially for economic and emotional supports like job opportunity tips, help in times of trouble. They belong in the blue collar community. They earn a good income or enough income only to support their basic needs, and enjoy mechanical items and recreational activities. And they enjoy their leisure time after working very hard or magtigom sa og-ayo. So, they often are kanang inclined to buy vehicles and equipment related to recreation, camping, and selected sports. They have a strong sense of value, like when they buy something, it has to be of great value, dugay maguba, kinahanglan, sulit ang kwarta nga gibayad. Shop for best bargains at off-price and discount stores. So, dirita sa working class, if we like to go on kanang mga nag 50% nag-sale, nag 50% off, 30% off na mga discounts, um, purchase automotive equipment for making repairs, and enjoy local travel and recreational parks. So, dilingon na nga dako kay nga gasto when traveling or when enjoying leisure time. So, ang sa lower class pod, they are the unemployed due to situations beyond their control like company takeovers, layoffs, or kanang recession. Can include individuals on welfare and homeless individuals. So, kanang mga um, nasa dalan nga walay tarong nga balay, mga yun ana, mga street children or street people that do not have their own living areas, mo na sila nasa lower class. They often have strong religious beliefs, may be forced to live in less desirable neighborhoods, and in spite of their problems, they are often good-hearted towards others and enjoy everyday activities when possible. So, most products na ilang ginabay are purchased only for survival, so food and clothing only, and their ability to convert good discards into usable items. So, kanang mamasura, and then they make use of the things nga basura sa kuan sa other people from the other social classes, and then they repair that and they make use of it as long as nga kaya pagamiton. So, mo na siya. Those our social class also affects our buying behavior. Kaya di naman nato ma-determine our buying capacity. Do we have the enough money to buy expensive cars? Do we have enough money to buy expensive clothes? Or ahata na bilong our nga social class? Culture. So, the accumulated values, knowledge, beliefs, customs, objects, and concepts of a society. This would also greatly influence buying behavior. Cultural changes affect product development, promotion, distribution, and pricing. Nowadays, that value of culture is greatly integrated. So there are cultural preservations being done and cultural integration being made into specific products to recognize or para dili mamatay ang mga culture nga naa nato dili distinctive sa Philippines. So it would also influence our buying behavior. If we love our culture, syempre tangkilikin ang sariling atin. Then subcultures. These are group of individuals whose characteristic, values, and behavior patterns are similar and differ from those of the surrounding culture. So it could be, since nga the Philippines is an open country, so we are accepting other nationalities, so we are immersed with different subcultures like African Americans, Hispanic, the Americans, the Asian Americans, natay mga ingon ana nga mga blend. So from their culture, they bring it here in the Philippines, we get affected by it. We observe, syempre karon kung ana kayo on TikTok, so kung say uso nila dito, we get an idea, we imitate or we emulate them. So that would also affect the buying behavior of the consumers. Mo na siya yung subcultures. And that also ends our lesson 2.